Okay. Good morning, guys. Awesome. It's a pleasure to have you guys here. And today is the 17th of February, 2023. 17th of February. Before you know it, the month of February is going to be over. And it was just like yesterday when we saw February 1st. And it was just like yesterday when we saw January 1st. How are you all doing? We have a few people here with us. Thank you for coming early. I can see Mr. Solomon Musa said good morning. So I want to believe you can hear us. Great. We have a lot of people joining in fast now. We have Stephen Ojo, Tenenge Philip, Toby Oyeyinka. Awesome. And Solomon Musa said yes. Thank you, guys. Great. So we have a few things for you today. Today also will be on a lighter note for a couple of reasons. Number one, it is a Friday. And number two, the market is light on the economic calendar for today. I repeat, the market is light on the economic calendar for today, right? So we don't have much that could cause some volatility, but notwithstanding, the market is doing its thing. And that's why we need to always ensure that we respect price, right? So we're going to be looking at the market shortly to find out what's going on. And we'll talk about what happened this week. We'll talk about, what to expect from the market going into next week and so on, right? Please be reminded that this is the live market analysis session where we're going to be looking at charts and also where we are going to be analyzing the market from different angles, from the fundamentals and the technicals, as that is the major way to trade the market. You trade the market from a combination of the fundamentals and technicals, right? So for the rest of us that are here, if you can hear me loud and clear, do let me know. I need that as a good confirmation that our audio is good to go. Before we proceed, the live market analysis session with 10 trade. So I need your confirmation that we are good to go. Audio is good to go. You can hear me loud and clear before we jump in. Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Casey. Mr. Casey said good. So that means that we are indeed good to go, right? Awesome. Now, before we jump into the chat, right, I want to ask a few questions. Thank you, Tenenge Philip said I did hear. Could we please speak English, please? Could we speak English? Tenenge Philip, please let us speak English, please. Toby said we're good, awesome. Right, so I repeat, let's speak proper English, please. Right, so before we dive into the chats, I want to ask you this quick question. So I'd like to get feedback from you. How was trading this week? Let us know how your trading was this week. How was trading this week? Let us know. Today is Friday. This week has been a bit eventful with all the news that we had, especially for the US dollar. From about Tuesday, we had the CPI for the US dollar. And then on Wednesday, we had the retail sales. And then Thursday also, we had data as well for the USD. So it has been an eventful week for the USD as we've had some volatility in the market. And when we have volatility in the market, it simply means that the market is going to move at a faster pace, right? And that's why we're having this live market analysis sessions so that we understand the market much better, right? Thank you. Solomon Musa said, awesome for me. Awesome. It's good to hear that the market was good for you. We always say that even if you are not making $1 million, even if you're not making all the money, but you must ensure that you are not losing your account balance, right? You must ensure that your account balance is intact, at least most of it, because in this business of trading the financial market that is, right, you need to understand that account protection should come first of all. I repeat, account protection should come first of all before we work towards making making profit at the end of the day. Okay, Casey said something, and I like what he said, and that's why we're asking this question right from the very beginning. Because you can look at today, Friday, that is, as a form of summary or recap, or look into the week that is, or that's going to be a close later today. But then to look at it based on what you did, what you didn't do, how it worked for you, how it did not work for you, and everything. You can see cases said, stop loss, too tight from my end, had some losses. Now, listen to what Mr. Casey said. He says stop loss was too tight from his end. So he has already realized it was too tight, right? And said he had some losses. Some losses. I'm sure those losses were not so crazy enough to wipe out your account, only if you were using a lot size that was too heavy, right? Only if you're using a lot size exactly. And then you said, no, sir, thank you. But then I like the fact that you said it was too tight. I want to ask a follow-up question, Mr. Casey, because this can easily help you to improve drastically. Now, from your trading this week, and of course, based on what you have said as well, right? I want to ask you this quick question. After you had those losses, I repeat, after you had those losses, did the market go in your favor after, or did it continue to go against you after you were knocked out because your stop loss was too tight? Meaning that did it go in your favor with you not being inside, or did it continue to go against you, and so on? So let us know, because as I said, the way you answer would help us to know how we can assist you better, and how your trading can catapult to the next level. Okay, beautiful. I'm sure you guys can see what Mr. Casey wrote. Mr. Casey said it went in his favor. Awesome. So what does that mean? That simply means that his stop loss was too tight. I'm going to quickly switch over to my whiteboard and then quickly explain something to everybody based on this stop loss placement. Now, when you do your analysis, because it is only from your analysis that you'll be able to determine your stop loss, right? So let's assume your stop loss, I'll call it your stop loss X. Sorry guys, I hope this doesn't look as if we're doing maths, right? So I'll call your stop loss X, and let's assume your stop loss is 15 pips. You decide to use 15 pips stop loss, and please just use this as an example, right? Sorry about my handwriting as well. You decide to use it as 16 pips stop loss, right? So as this is 16 pips stop loss, right? This 15 pips is not actually 15 pips, because the spread is inside these 15 pips. And I'm sure you guys know what the spread is. The spread is what we call the difference between the buying and the selling prices. So that difference could be 1 pip or 2 pips. So that means that this is not actually 15 pips. One thing that I normally do, right, as an example, in order to protect my account, in order to protect my positions, when I have a stop loss of 5 pips, I can easily add a buffer. I repeat, I can easily add a buffer, and that buffer could easily be about 5 pips. Could easily add a buffer of about 5 pips, right? As we add 5 pips, that means that we're now using what? We're using 20 pips. So this way is something that I normally do, and something that's helped me for whipsaws, so it doesn't take me out and then go in my favor without me. As I said, now whipsaws, you could easily have whipsaws during times of news. You could easily have whipsaws during times of news. If you remember all the news that we had this week from Tuesday, from the CPI for the USD, and then also Wednesday we had the CPI for pounds, and then we had retail sales and a bunch of other data from the market. So you are going to have whipsaws. Now, another thing you need to understand is that during news period, some things are bound to happen, like the whipsaw, like the slippage, like the spread increment. And that period is not one for you to play around with, because I know some traders normally say they want to trade the news period. Truth be told, trading the news could be rather difficult because of the nature of that news. Especially if that news is high impact, the news could easily be very, very volatile, right? Very, very volatile at the end of the day. So I hope you understand this little concept. I'm just stating this one here before we look at charts now for Mr. Casey that said his stop loss was too tight. So you can try to implement this, right, and see how it goes for you. I hope you understand this concept. Hope everybody understands this concept. If you feel that you're having issues with stop loss, you can apply this, which is something I do as well, right? Very key, very, very important. At the end of the day, as you are here under the 10 trade roof, it is for you to practice what we are giving you, see the result for yourself, and then you become more of a believer. Okay, thank you to Mr. Casey. So please work on that. Now, if you guys have any other question, feel free to ask. And if no other question, then gradually we're going to cross over to the charts, right? We're going to cross over to the charts where we're going to be looking at a few instruments, especially based on what happened this week, as the week is more or less over. You're welcome, Basi Ayo. He said, good morning, sir. Just joining. Yes, I noticed. I noticed those that just joined not too long ago. So you're all welcome once again. Don't forget, as we always say, follow us on the social media handles, the recordings, right, of this, our sessions, right? You would always find them on YouTube, right? So you need to follow us on YouTube. You need to follow us on the rest of the social media handles, such as the Instagram, the Twitter, the Facebook, right? Kindly do the needful. And don't forget also, share the link for the trainings on your WhatsApp status and every other social media platform that you have. Okay, thank you, Leo Prince. You said morning star joined. It says Leo Prince, you are joining us for the first time. Kindly clarify that so that we know the exact information to dish out. Right? Great. So let's continue. This is gold. I remember somebody asked for gold yesterday. I don't know if the person is here again, can't really remember, but this is gold. And then we did analysis on gold yesterday. And if you look at what we have on the chart, all our levels, you can see that these are just basically support and resistance from the horizontal point of view. We have support and resistance from different perspectives, right? We have someone is saying, Philip Tenenge said, sorry, are you live on YouTube right now? No, we are not live on YouTube. This is on Zoom. It is being recorded, and the recording will be posted to Zoom, right? So follow us on, sorry, the recording will be posted to YouTube rather. So subscribe to YouTube, as the videos will be recorded there. And also we could use that platform for other things. We could also conduct a live there as well, right? So it will be good for you to follow us, subscribe, turn on the notification bell so that you are notified when we drop new videos, and then also like as many videos as possible, watch them, like them, and then comment over there as well. Meaning that if you have a question much later, kindly do what? Kindly comment on the YouTube section, the YouTube video, and we'll get back to you in good time. Thank you, Mr. Philip Tenenge said, understood, sir. Thank you. So great. If you look at what we have right in front of us, right, you will notice something. Notice that this is more than, is clearly a what? Is clearly a downtrend. And we always say the trend is your friend, right? And a lot of traders still do not understand what we have just said. The trend is your friend. As this is a downtrend, right? You'll also notice that yesterday we're talking about these areas, right? If you look very well, I can also do something now to show you the information on a daily basis. I'm going to show you that now. Okay, so look at what we've done now. You can see these vertical lines have been introduced to the chart. So I'm going to explain them, right? So today is Friday. So this section here is for Friday. This one is for Thursday. This is for Wednesday. And then this is for Tuesday. And then this is for Monday. And then the same applies to last week rather, Friday, Thursday, and so on. Now, the information I'm trying to bring out from this, sorry, permit me to clean this up a bit so that, or let me still leave it over here. But then look at what we're talking about. We are watching this area here as a form of support, which should now act as resistance. And of course, we have other levels above. If you remember, we said that we will prefer the price to either get to this point or this point for better reward at the end of the day. But look at what price did. Price got to this point, which happens to be a resistance. Those that jumped in on a sell, they got their entry, they got their profits, they're still getting their profit, and then they went nice and smooth to the downside because you are simply following the trend. And this is how we are supposed to be trading, right? We need to understand what's going on in front of us and then start to take advantage of the chart. I repeat, start to take advantage of the chart, right? But if you notice, let me clean this up now. If you notice, and let me zoom in here. This area where the price entered, right? I'm going to give you one or two clues that you can use and practice. Don't forget, in this live market analysis session that we have, a quick disclaimer for you. The information, right, should not be used as a form of signal, but rather should be used for educational purposes, strictly educational purposes. I'm going to show you guys something really cool right now. So pay attention. You can use the weekend to also look for them. Now, this was the area of interest for sell. You can see in this section over here, when these two candles hit, these two candles, if you ask me, if you combine them together, it looks sort of a bearish pin bar like this. I don't know whether you guys can see that, right? If you look at the combination of this candle here and then this candle here, it looks like a bearish pin bar or bearish hammer, right? I don't know whether you can combine if you understand what I'm talking about. But then, notwithstanding, for this particular chart that we have in front of us, another thing that you can do is to cross over to like a lower time frame, right? I'm going to do something now. I'm going to put a marker. I'm going to put a marker on this candle that we're looking at over here. We put something like this rectangle, and then we drop down to maybe 30 minutes. The reason why we're dropping down is to look for that price action candlestick that might give us that trigger to enter the market. You can see over here, we had a sort of pin bar here. Some might say this pin bar is not that strong, but it's still a pin bar, and eventually it went lower. Meaning that from this point, if you had entered on the close of this pin bar here, and your stop loss was above over here, you probably would have been lucky. Don't forget, we talked about the buffer. Don't forget, guys, we talked about the buffer not too long ago, meaning that if your stop loss is here, have that buffer, and then you can move your stop loss slightly higher or whatever the case might be. And then look at what happened from here. The price went all the way down. Now, what we have just shown you is how to combine one or two more time frames, but this time around, you are still using your original charts from where you did your analysis. Why traders do this is to give them a smaller risk, right? To give them a smaller risk and even far greater reward at the end of the day, right? So this is something that traders can do, and then you can do what? You can make good reward from trading in this way, right? So this is the gold, right, that somebody asked yesterday. So I said, let's just start with gold first of all, and then moving over to Euro USD. One thing, I repeat, one thing that you'd also like about the charts, whenever you look at them, is that price tends to, I don't know whether you agree with this statement. Let me say it and slow down. Price tends to respect these key levels more times than not. I repeat, price tends to respect these key levels more times than not. So if you look at what we have here, where the price is, you can easily say it's coming back to this point and it's dropping. But then, will this happen today? Don't forget, we said from the economic calendar, now we said it is always good to check the economic calendar on a regular basis. When I say regular basis, every morning before you start trading, that is when you should be checking the calendar, right? Speaking of calendar, we're going to switch over to the calendar now. I'm going to show you the calendar, and then we'll look at what we have for today, right? So looking at the calendar right now, you will notice something that today is Friday, right? So as today is Friday, you can see for Friday, I'm just going to circle it. There is no data whatsoever, right, on this Friday for any uh, 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 instrument, for any currency rather, right? So that means what? That means that this Friday might more or less be a quiet, or more or less. It doesn't mean as the same as we just said now, 100% of the time. No, right? Well, more or less, the market should be pretty on the quiet side, right? And this is the news, or this is the news section, the first factory, where you can see for February 17th, which is a Friday today, there's absolutely no news that could easily cause some volatility in the market. Most of those news came out on Tuesday, where we had the CPI for the US dollar, and then on Wednesday, we had the core retail sales, and yesterday we had the PPI, right? We had the PPI as well. So this here is the economic calendar for us to use before we start checking on the charts. This is the fundamentals. And as this is the fundamentals, we'll cross back to the technical aspect of it, which happens to be the charts, right? So guys, once again, you're welcome. I can see some of us are just joining us. Please don't forget to share this link with people who will be interested in learning a bit or two. Everybody, I'm sure you know one other trader or the other. You can share the link on your WhatsApp status, and trust me, they will join you. One thing I've also noticed is that there are a lot of traders out there that are even on your timeline, or you most likely might not know. By the time you post this, that join the 10 trade live market analysis, or join the 10 trade uh, um, workshop for beginners, or whatever the case might be, right? You'll notice that somebody will chat you up, and then you get to know that you also trade, that you guys trade, person trades Forex just like you, right? So there is the Euro USD. We just talked about the Euro USD based on our expectations of this, where we're expecting that price to pull higher to this point. But I should be told, I prefer the price to push higher, right? So instead of pushing to this point here, instead of pulling back or retracing back to this point, I want a deeper one here, or this one here. If you remember also yesterday, right, when price was at this point, if you guys remember, I said I wanted a pullback to this area where I will get in on shorts and then take it down. Unfortunately, that never happened. From this point here, it now tanked. From this point here, from this area, from this level, from this zone here, it tanked. It fell because it has history. I repeat, it has history if you look at it very well. So this history is showing you the areas of support and the areas of resistance. And then depending on the side of the price, it is now for you to what? To follow suit, right? Depending on the side of, let me use that to explain to you. When we say the side, here is where the price is now, and it's on the other side of this horizontal line. The topmost part here is known as support, and then the lower part here is known as resistance, right? So easily expecting price to pull back here for short back down, or to pull back here and then short back down, right? Remember yesterday we were looking for price to get back to this point, meaning I should pull back to this point, but it never did. And then from here, it just went down. So also, one thing we would also like to advise you, as today is Friday, CGIF, we don't want you to use the whole weekend sleeping or having one phone on the other. We normally advise that you should do a form of revision. All right, I repeat, do a form of revision, and that revision should carry or should entail, right, the trades that you took this week, because I can tell you for a fact, obviously I don't need to mention any names here. I can tell you for a fact that there is at least one person here, right, in the list of this our training today, training now, this live training session. There's somebody here that crashed the account this week. I believe the person said crash the account, right? And the person is here. So I normally say this, we normally say this, that traders are what? traders are crashing their accounts on a daily basis, on a regular. And then we say that should not be your portion. What you should be doing is attend our sessions where we dish out the necessary information for you to be able to trade better. For you to be able to trade better, first of all, what you need to do is to avoid losses. Oh, Basi Ayo said, I did. Interesting. So that means that this is another person, because I was not actually talking about Basi Ayo. Basi Ayo, please clarify this. Do you mean that you crashed an account this week? If your answer is yes, let us know so that we can know how to assist you further. We have been assisting traders for a while now to understand the market better. It's all about understanding the market better, how to read and understand it, just like an open book. This looks like a language, right? The chart is like a language, but then you do not understand the language. It's like French, or it's Spanish or Russian or whatever other language, and you do not understand it. For you to understand it, of course, you can learn it yourself online or whatever the case might be, or you could have 10 trade that will show you how to understand this, right, in a very fast-paced manner. Okay, Basi Ayo is here to reply us, but then let's continue. Asked Basi Ayo a question, but we didn't get any feedback. Let's continue with the chat that we have in front of us. So basically, you'll be waiting here, or you'll be waiting here for price to retrace for shorts at the end of the day. But then don't forget, based on the fundamentals, the market might as well be a bit slow. So if the market is a bit slow, it might not get there. So you also need to have your projections. Somebody asked us a key question this week about checking the markets, and I said, check at intervals, especially based on the time frame that you are using, right? Especially based on the time frame that you are using. Okay, Basi Ayo said about 2 weeks now. Okay, seeing Mr. Basi Ayo. Okay, Mr. Basi Ayo, if you are interested, reach out to us, reach out to your account manager as well, and explain. And this also applies to everybody, right? If your trading has not been going according to plan, maybe you crashed an account this week or 2 weeks ago, as Mr. Basi Ayo just confirmed, your trading has not been going according to plan, reach out to your account manager, reach out to any of the admins on the Telegram group. I believe we're all on the Telegram group, right? If you're not on the Telegram group, let us know. Try and drop the link again so that you can all join, right? So as I was saying, if you crashed an account not too long ago, 1 week, 2 weeks, reach out to us. Let's have a discussion and let's see what we can do for you, right? You know, we also have that one-on-one 30-minute session for everybody that is interested. You just have to be eligible, and all you have to do is to fund your account. Yes, fund your account with a minimum of $500, and you'll be eligible for that already. I know I have like 1 or 2 people scheduled for that session later today. Okay, I can't see any person. Okay, great. Let's continue. But if you're interested in that, once again, talk to your account manager or talk to the person that even sent the link to you for you to come on board this session. Come on board our session, and then we'll see what we can do for you. You can attend the one-on-one session, one-on-one 30 minutes, where you fund your account with a minimum of $500. And we advise not to rush to trade it yet until we have our session, and then you can begin. We need to put you on the right path. Okay, Basi Aya says she called me yesterday and advised me on what to do next. Okay, awesome. Not really sure what she said, but I want to believe that you are obviously in good hands. Let us know, obviously, from what we've dished out now, if you need the one-on-one 30-minute session, right, with myself, where we'll give you the step-by-step process on how to trade. We'll talk about the trading plan and, of course, the trading journal as well. Those are key things that we all need to note. So we just talked about the Euro USD. You can cross over to the GBP USD. You can see GBP USD also, the trend is to the downside. All of them are all doing what? They're all moving in a particular direction now. EU was moving downward, as you can see, downtrend. GBP USD also downtrend. You can see that more or less, or most likely, this is dollar driven, right? I repeat, this is dollar driven. You can see the entity USD also the same thing. It looks as if they all look similar at the end of the day, but they're not similar. It's just the dollar, right, that is causing this particular movement because the dollar seems to be strong as we speak. And then one thing I also say is do not be surprised if, well, this is from my own analysis, by the way. You guys can also conduct your analysis and let us know in the Telegram group, because Telegram group is for us to conversate more after this our session. All right, all our sessions can always reach out on Telegram group, post your chats, ask questions, and then we'll see what we can do for you. So this is GBUSD. You can see just like what we're looking at earlier. We want to see a pullback to this area for us to jump in on shorts down, or a pullback to this area. Oops, sorry, it didn't draw that well. Okay, a pullback to this area here, right? And then drop down, right? Even, sorry, I shouldn't have even claimed that because it is an area. Remember we talked about an area. It's an area or level or zone. So we can as well use the horizontal, the rectangle tool, sorry, we can use the rectangle tool to draw the area like this. So this is an area. You can see I can increase it as I want or reduce it. So this is an area of interest, right? As you can see, this was support, resistance, support. It acted as resistance here, even though it breached it here. So that means that if the price should get back to this point, it should not act as what? It should not act as resistance as well. So this is also very important for us to take note of. Analyzing the chart, analyzing the market, once you understand how to read and understand, sorry for the too much understand, once you know how to read and understand the market, just like an open book, using price action and support and resistance. Once you understand this, trust me, your trading will start to make a whole lot of sense. And that is what we are going to be discussing if peradventure you join us on the one-on-one 30 minutes session, right? If there's any other person that is here that might have crashed the account of recent, or that might have had some series of losses as a result of using a stop loss that is too tight. I remember somebody said that not too long ago. I think that was Mr. Casey, using a stop loss that is too tight, or whatever the case might be. Your risk management is poor, or your psychology is all over the place, meaning that your emotions are all over the place. You are happy, you are sad, you are angry, and so on. You revenge, you do a lot of things, you place too many trades, reach out to us, and then we will see what we can do for you. Also, please, guys, make sure you are taking screenshots of the charts as well, because when they play out, they will build confidence in what you are doing, based on what 10 trade has shown you. Right? Because one thing you need to understand, you can see that I'm actually stressing some keywords here. One thing that you need to understand is that you don't need too many things on your chart. Simple support and resistance, and you are good to go. And when you do the screenshots, you will later see for yourself that yes, indeed, everything was going according to what you had drawn. That will start to build confidence in you as a trader, right? Look at the entity USD as well. No brainer, just like the ones we'll be looking at. You just want to pull back probably to this area, and then you take a shot here, or worst case, it's pulled back to this area and then you take a shot back down to this point. Of course, you'll be able to know by yourself whether point 1 will be a good point of entry or point 2. Of course, without a brainer, point 2 will be a better place because it will give you more reward, it will give you more take profit, it will give you more pips at the end of the day. So you need to understand this aspect over here. One key thing I want to also mention, I think I saw it on a particular chart, how to avoid. Remember we said the key thing for us to be doing is account protection. I repeat, account protection. And you need to know how to avoid unnecessary losses in order to protect your account. You can see these ones that we have drawn here, they haven't happened yet. But if it gets back to 1, right, maybe it is later today, or it could even be from Monday next week, that means that we have, or rather, we have already started our analysis for next week as well, still using this chart. So you can drop your charts. You don't need to change anything much You can be making some slight adjustments, but the chart can also serve for the next week, right? The chart can also serve for next week. So that means that come next week, might not have to clean up this chart and start drawing our horizontal lines. Well, no, we just maintain this one at the end of the day. Guys, if you have any questions based on what we have been talking about, do let us know. Let us know how we can help you out further, right? When I say help you out further, I just remembered something that we normally discuss, which we cannot discuss at length from here, but we normally discuss it in our beginner's workshop as well. And then we discuss it thoroughly during the one-on-one 30-minute session, and that is a trading plan. A trading plan. A lot of traders do not have a plan. A lot of traders are trading anyhow. That is the consequences of lack of a trading plan. Your trading will be anyhow. And I'm sure you do not want your trading to be anyhow, because it will be very painful when the losses don't stop, when they keep on rolling in. No matter how little, you are still having losses and losses. But meanwhile, you're supposed to be doing what you're supposed to be increasing, growing your account, but it's not working in that way. So you need a trading plan. As the name implies, trading is what? Trading is simply buying and selling. That's what trading is. And a plan is what? A plan is a set of rules, is a guideline, is a form of execution. Meaning that once you have this trading plan, you have your rules, you have what it takes for you to place trades the proper way. Okay, Philip Tenenge said, plan and strategy, are they related? Well, you can say they're related, but they are not the same thing. They are not the same thing. As I said earlier, I just defined what plan is, where we said a trading plan. Listen to this, and I'm going to break it down, and then hopefully it makes sense, because it must make sense to everybody, not just to Philip Tenenge, right? That is here. And Philip Tenenge, thank you too for adjusting. I believe you were the one that you were speaking some broken earlier. So thank you for adjusting to English. Sorry for my English. So thank you for adjusting to that. Okay, so plan and strategy. We said trading plan is a set of rules, guidelines that we use to place trades. And also a trading plan, it comprises of the instruments. So when we say plan, it's everything. It's everything, including the strategy. So that means that the strategy is inside your trading plan. As I said, they're related, but they're not the same thing. So in your trading plan, you could also have the instruments, the list of instruments that you are trading, because you must write them down. Your plan now is trade XYZ 3 instruments only. Write them down. You must know your time frames. You must know your time. Oh my God. Sorry for laughing, guys. I'm sure you know why I'm laughing. And I want to believe you also are smiling where you are, even though I can't see the rest of you, right? Everybody, you can see what Mr. Philip Tenenge wrote again. We understand, but for the purpose of everybody here, as I say, everybody, we might have some people that are here from Ghana. We might have some people that are here from the UK and so on. So we try to make sure that the English is, is for everybody. It cuts, borders for everybody at the end of the day, right? So let me continue this explanation on the plan and strategy. So the plan, you have your instruments that you are trading, you write them down. You have your time frame that you are trading. You have your the style of trading, whether you're a trend trader, counter trend trader, you write it down. You know the type of trader that you are, you write it down. Scalper, intraday, swing position. Why do you also need to write these things down? You need to write them down because you must have that guideline. You can see where we're coming from now. You must have that guideline, which is your trading plan. Your trading plan is your guideline. It's your set of rules that you need to follow. So when you write it down, don't just write it down and throw it away, but write it down and use that as a basis point before you start placing trades, right? And then when it comes to the strategy, this strategy is inside the trading plan. The strategy can easily be your reason for entry and exit. That is a strategy, because your strategy is for trading. That's why it's called a trading strategy. We have trading plan and we have trading strategy. So your trading strategy, guys, if you can still invite more guys to join us, do that. I can see a few more, 1 or 2 people just joined us, even though you are a bit late. I think Israel Bulus is one of them, if I'm not mistaken. You can still watch the recording of this on the YouTube. Follow 10 Trade on our YouTube channel, please. In fact, follow us on all the social media handles. Very key, very, very important. Okay, so a trading strategy is strictly for entry and exit. What do you use for entry? What do you use for exit? Right? Oh, yeah, sorry. I'm so sorry. Apologies. Mr. Philip Tenengi, I believe we're still chatting. So we're going to continue our chat as well. After this, I'll chat you up a bit via Telegram. I know we had a discussion, so we're not yet through. We'll do that and then see what we can come up with, right? I just remember that. Sorry, I chat to a lot of people. Trying to keep up to a lot of people at times could be, and also conducting trainings as well, could be time consuming and all. So sorry about that. Just remember that I need to chat you up as a follow-up, right? So we just explained the trading plan and we explained the trading strategy for entry and exit. You must also write down your entry and exit criteria. As an example, you want to enter on a buy, you want to buy, right? And as you want to buy, write down your strategy for buying. Are you buying based on trend trading? That trend trading simply means that you are going with the trend, right? So are you buying based on trend trading as a counter trend trader? Are you buying based on as a trend trader and also as a counter trend trader? Or are you selling based on a trend trade or based on a counter trend trade? Because you must be able to identify the trend. You can see that your plan is going to help you out in a whole lot of different areas at the end of the day. So these things are very key. They're very, very important for you to understand and implement. I can tell you this for a fact, and I'm sure I will get it. There are a lot of people that are here that have heard about a trading plan before, but they are not using one. Or maybe they use one for a little while and then they abandoned it, just like the trading journal. The trading journal is one. I can tell you for a fact, a lot of traders here are not using it. As a matter of fact, guys, let's do a little bit of altar call. If you are here and you are not using a trading journal, please, I want to see a comment from you guys. Type 7 in the chat section. Just type 7 if you are not using a trading journal, not N-O-T. If you are not using a trading journal, type 7. If you don't type anything, then of course we know that you are using one, right? And then you are good to go. But if you are not using, type 7 in the chat section, and then I'm going to tell you what you need to do, right? I'm going to tell you what you need to do, because trading could be, we could refer trading to like riding a bicycle. Okay, I can say a couple of 7s. Beautiful. Oh, wow, this looks like almost everybody, they're putting 7 here. Mr. Casey, Joshua, Toby, Jonathan, Mr. Philip. You can see a lot of 7s are here. Some of us did not put anything. Maybe you're multitasking, you can't type, because I'm sure you need to be on this. That time where the pastor says we're still waiting for one more person. I'm still waiting for one more person, at least one more person, because I want to believe that we are more than this, and that is the truth. A lot of us are not using a trading journal, but a trading journal is very, very powerful, right? Beautiful. Basia, you are late, but your life has been saved now, right? So I knew we still had one more person, right? So look at it this way. A lot of us are not doing what we're supposed to be doing. I was about to tell you that, it's like riding a bicycle. So let me explain that aspect of riding a bicycle. Now, you can learn how to ride a bicycle yourself. If you try to ride that bicycle yourself, what are the things that will happen? Immediately you start falling down. You fall down a lot. You fall down a lot. And this riding the bicycle, please, with respect to trading, I'm sure you know how to merge them together. It's like you start learning how to trade by yourself. You start learning how to ride the bicycle by yourself. You fall down a lot. You have a lot of losses, a lot of crashed accounts. But it doesn't have to be so. Why not ride the bicycle with somebody holding the bicycle for you, right? If you take notes, somebody has learned how to ride the bicycle, most likely, especially a child, most likely that child will not be looking in front. That child will be what? That child will be looking at the pedals. We'll be looking at how to press the pedals and move the bicycle forward. But you, the mentor, is going to help you to look forward, to guide you, to show you the ropes, to assist you. A mentor is powerful. And that's why I always say 10 Trade will be your mentor. All you have to do is to reach out, and then we'll see how we can help you out, right? That one-on-one will be something that is very powerful, right? Trust me. So if you're interested in that, contact your account manager, reach out to any of the admins on the Telegram group. Also contact the person that invited you to 10 Trade or whatever the case might be, and let's help you out. This is February. February is going to be over in 11 days. February is 28 days. That means what? That means very soon, we're going to listen to this, guys. Very soon, we're going to be crossing over to March, and March ending will be what? Will be the end of the first quarter. Before you know it, the second quarter, third quarter, and we're back to December. And then you look back and then you say, what have you achieved in the business of trading, right? So you know what I'm talking about. So you know what to do, reach out, and then we'll see what we can do for you. Most of our charts that we have in front of us, they're still portraying the same thing. This is the NZD USD. You can see the AUD USD, very similar to the NZD USD. As a matter of fact, the NZD USD and the AUD USD, they tend to move alike. They're pretty much similar. You can see I'm toggling between the two. They're pretty much similar. And of course, under the 10 Trade roof, you'll get to know more about correlations. Very soon, we'll start to gradually introduce some things like the Fibonacci for confluence, right? Because quite right, you can trade without these things, but when you add them, it makes your trading more powerful. It gives you that confidence. Lots of traders, they say today that they are afraid to place trades. That when you say afraid, what does that mean? It means that you lack confidence in trading. So we would help you to bring back that confidence in full force when we start to maybe add one or two more tools, but we will not add too many tools. You can add the Fibonacci for trend trading. We could then add maybe like the RSI or the MACD for counter trend trading. Because some of us here might be trend traders, while some of us might be counter trend traders, right? That's it. Okay, let's look at some other ones. This is the dollar yen. Beautiful. Look at this dollar yen. If you look very well, it has formed another area around here. So let me just put that area up here. It has formed another area around here. So you can see this is like a fresh resistance. And we're waiting for it to what? We're waiting for it to pull back here for support to push higher, or to pull back to this point to push higher. You can see we're even doing analysis going into the next week as well. That's why we said take a screenshot. This time frame that we're looking at so far are 1 hour. We could also be flexible and look at it from the daily time frame, the 4 hours time frame, and so on. But we always try to ensure that we don't go too low to those 1 minute, 5 minutes, based on the volatility that could easily shake up the market in that 1 minute, 5 minutes time frame. And also, especially the fact that the 1 minute, 5 minutes is pretty fast, right? It's pretty fast, so we don't usually recommend it until you feel that you are good to go. Do you guys have any questions? We'll be rounding up soon. Don't forget today is Friday. Fridays could be a bit on the lean back. Fridays in the market most times could be like a profit-taking day, which simply means that that's the period when a lot of traders are taking profit, for the week, and maybe they're going to use that to enjoy themselves for the weekend or whatever the case might be. Or some traders, they just do not hold trades over the weekend, right? So Fridays are usually known, but of course, it's not just all the time. They're known for profit taking, and that's why you tend to see some reversals, just like this one on the dollar yen. Don't be surprised if you see reversals going into the end of this week, at least to this point over here, right? So guys, if you have any questions, feel free to ask, right? As in a few minutes, we'll be rounding up, right? And if you look at the other instruments that we have here, beautiful. This is one I wanted to talk about. Just a second. I remember I had mentioned something earlier. I can't remember whether it was on Euro USD, but let me just try and refresh my memory here. Let me try and refresh my memory. Sorry, just a second. I believe this was, is it the GBP USD? I believe this was NZD USD, if I'm not mistaken. I think there was a time earlier today, right? We talked about when price hits your area of interest, something like this. When price hits your area of interest, and then you get your confirmation for entry, that is your price action trigger, and then you enter, and then it goes down. That means that price will get to the area of interest, price will get your area of level, area of zone, or whatever you want to call it. And when price gets there, you wait for the reaction. The reaction, this is what I'm going to, because I noticed that on this Bitcoin, if you look very well, we're expecting the market here to come back to this point, and then we get to buy and then push it higher. But then, based on the reaction is something that's very, very key, very, very important. Based on the reaction, you can see that this candle is a big candle, and it sliced through. It sliced through those like hot knife on butter. It sliced through this area here of support. So that means that there was no reason to start looking for trades, couldn't even get trades over here. So after mapping out your areas of interest, you also take note of the reaction, right? Some traders tend to place trades aggressively at that point, but the more aggressive you are, the more losses you have, right? No matter how small the pips are in losses, or even in dollars, the losses, but no matter how small they are, right? It is something that will still affect you psychologically. That has to do with your emotions. And that's why I always tell traders, the best thing for you to do is to place trades and place clean trades. Don't go out using a machine gun. Don't go out using an AK-47, but rather go out using a sniper. There's a big difference between the snipers and those that use the rifle, the machine guns, AK-47. The sniper doesn't need too many shots, too many bullets. And bullet is something that we normally call, we normally say it is the number of trades that you can place in a day. This should also be in your trading plan. So why do you need to know the number of trades that you can place in a trade? Can't my account balance allow me to place 100 trades, 200 trades? Yes, it can. But for your emotions, have a specific number. Maybe it could be 2 or 3 trades in a day. You will notice that the number that you pick, right, will help you to be picky. I repeat, the number that you pick will help you to be picky, meaning that you're not going to be placing anyhow trades. You wait for the best of the best that fits your criteria before you jump in, right? So as price has broken this area without any reason for entry here, the next thing to do is wait for price to get to this point here. It almost got there, and there seems to be hanging out in the middle here, but we still wait. This business of trading has to do with a lot of patience, right? You wait and wait and wait before you get to trade. And then you wait and wait and wait even after you've gotten the trade and it is still running. So there's a lot of wait in the business of trading. There's a lot of patience that is exercised, right? And then we always say, if you are new or you have been struggling for a while, 10 trade is going to help you out. But please also note that you will not start today with 10 trade and then tomorrow you're making $1 million. No, we would not give you stories or lies that are not correct. We'll tell you as it is, right? Honesty is the best policy, is our policy, is my policy. We'll always be honest with you. And that's why most times for those that have joined us for the one-on-one 30-minute session or will be joining us, one thing we normally say is, where do you see yourself in the next 3 months, 6 months? You say 3 months, not tomorrow. And then you say, I see myself, I'm sure this goes for everybody. I see myself making profitable trades and becoming consistently profitable. Leo Prince is just saying 7. Leo Prince, do you know why we're saying 7? Leo Prince, let me ask you that question, because this 7 was as a result of a long time ago. Do you know why we're saying 7? Right? Because it seems you just typed your 7 now, if I'm not mistaken. I'm checking the time. You just typed your own 7. So it seems maybe you saw people typing 7 and you're wondering why they're typing 7. We're not doing giveaway. So why are you typing 7? Casey said the waiting is tiring. Mr. Casey, life is all about waiting. Life is all about waiting. We go through stages in life. You wait. How many months? Mr. Casey, listen to this. Let's break down this waiting. You said it's all about life. How many months did you have to wait before you were born, before you came to this planet Earth? 9 months. I believe everybody were more or less around 9 months, more or less, right? What does that mean? That means that there is a set amount of time. There's a specific wait time that we all must endure, or whatever the case may be, even if it is tiring, even if it is boring. But no, because you want to be, let me even tell you this for everybody, guys, listen to this. For you to be a professional trader, you need to be able to work on your patience. Patience has to do with that waiting aspect. Patience and discipline. These are two key aspects where traders are failing it and losing it. Mr. Leo Prince, you have not answered us. Yeah, you think I'll forget. You just typed your own 7 now. Why did you type 7? It's not giveaway, but no problem. Let's continue, right? So once again, guys, you know what to do. You know the needful. All you have to do is to do it, right? Join us for the one-on-one 30-minute session. Talk to your account manager. Talk to any of the admins on the Telegram group. If you're interested now, you can let me know if you're interested now, and I could also follow up with it. Leo Prince said, I think for active ones. Okay. What do you mean by active ones? Don't worry. Your reply was very late, right? The reason why we said 7, if my memory is correct, I believe we're saying if you do not, if you do not have a trading journal, type 7. That's what we said. But you now said, I think for active ones. Don't worry. It shows that your attention was not here. You were here with us, I believe, but your attention was not here. Guys, as you are here with us, it's not just about listening to what we're saying. You also need to do it. You need to what? You need to practice. You need to put practice into the equation. There's no two ways about it. Okay, so we asked not too long ago, who are those that are interested in the one-on-one session? That is the one-on-one 30-minute session. And for you to be eligible, all you have to do is to fund your account with a minimum of $500, and then we'll set you up for that. Right, so we have one person that is saying now that is interested, and that is Mr. Joshua Anifowoshi. So Joshua Anifowoshi, you can also give me your 10 trade ID, and then we can follow up with you, see what we can set up. I don't know whether you've made that deposit. Maybe you've just made it, or you can make it maybe next week or whatever the time duration can be. No pressure. You will be the one to know when you need to. If you've been trading for a while, you're having too many problems, too many issues, too many losses, too many headaches. There's nothing like headache. There's headache that is headache on top of headache. I think that is called a migraine. Migraine is something that stays longer than the usual headache. Usual headache, you can even go and sleep, you wake up and you're feeling better. But the headache, it stays for a long period of time. That means that some of us have been trading and we have that headache. So so Joshua Anifowoshi should have said you'll be interested in one-on-one class. Please let me have your, you can send the message to me privately as well, right? Let me have your wallet ID so that we can, your client ID, so that we can follow up with you and try and set you up as we can only have a few one-on-one 30-minute sessions in a day, and you know where you are going to as well. So I'll be waiting for that. Hopefully you send that in good time. Guys, a quick one before we round up. We don't want to make this video way too long, right? I think in the past we've been doing about 1.5 hours, right? So in the next few minutes, 2-3 minutes, we're going to round up. If you guys have any questions for us, let us know. I have a question for you as well. I'll repeat, if you have any questions, quick questions for us, let us know. And then also, guys, let us know, how can we assist you guys better? How can we assist you? How can Trade assist you better? What are the things that you feel you need? I repeat, what are those things that you feel you need? Okay, thank you, Mr. Joshua. I've just gotten your wallet ID privately. Thank you for sending that to me privately, simply meaning that I'm the only one that can see that. Thank you. So we'll reach out to you shortly. Okay, any other person that will be interested in the one-on-one 30 minutes session, you just have to fund your account with a minimum of $500. Let us know, indicate now, or you can reach out to us much later. No pressure, it is for your own good. And don't forget, you are actually funding your account. It is not a payment. I repeat, it is not a payment. The funding of the account with a minimum of $500, it shows that on your own part, you are serious, right? It shows that on your own part, you are tired. What are you tired of? You are tired of the losses. If you guys feel you're not tired of the losses, then no problem. Basi Eyo said later. So what does that mean? Are you leaving? Or you said later with respect to you'll be interested later? I'm not really sure what you mean by later, sir. Are you going? If anybody wants to sign out, of course, you know, the way you came in is the way you go, quietly, right? So you can sign out now or not. Well, I'm gonna do something now. All right, let me just quickly do this. I'm going to stop the recording first of all.